Welcome, RPG Limit Break fans, to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Winter Tournament 2024 Winter Robot Wars Chaos Wing X Upper Bracket Match 2 between Spellzapp and Krelen. My name is Thavian Hawk. With me today is my co-commentator Maddie, with our restreamer Oslato and our ever-loved tracker Ragnarok784. Maddie, what are we looking at with these unusually punchy parties?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the black belt's been kind of cursed, but then again, when he rolls that telemagic and high agility, he could be worthwhile. Now, in terms of it though, the Thief has been the meta for this, and that is no exception here, especially with plus 10 luck and plus 15 agility. He is going to be very good at, well, running himself away, which is the main job he has in this party. As typical, the fighter's probably going to be the main, well, body in this case for these in terms of our damage dealer for late game, and they're running with extra vitality and access to the healing magic, which means they could also end up rolling up with Cure. I think it's Cure 3 or 4 that can end up in that slot, as well as potentially Life, which we can use in battle, and other such things. The basic heal magic is always a very interesting collection of them. And then on top of that, both of our runners have taken the Red Mage in terms of their main caster. In the case of Spellzapp, we have 1, and Krelen have 2 in favor of that Thief. Probably hoping that the increased runaway doesn't come in as much. But those both have the heal plus magic, as well as the ability to equip fighter armor. So they're going to be a decent amount tankier than they would normally be, just in being able to equip things like the dragon armor and ice. And considering that these are loose shards everywhere, and needing to do basically every check in the game, they will be sitting on a lot of extra armor that no doubt will at least give them some decent durability. That said, I'm very interested to see how this goes. I'm wondering if they only took that black belt for the sake of the teleport magic, because just having exit and warp early is such a huge boon, especially with some of the early dips they have to do.
Most definitely, and I was curious as to why they would go with the Red Mage, single or multiple Red Mages in the case of Krelen. But having heal magic on the fighter as well as the heal plus magic on the red mage, that's access to life, that's access to life 2, that's access to strength. I mean, not having the Thief, as you said, the Thief has been very meta for its evasion capabilities, and with the plus 10 luck, plus 15 agility, that Thief is even more so value for Spellzapp, but we shall see. The big question for both runners is, will the actual magic available to those red mages pan out?
Yeah, that is always the gamble with your red mage, as you're limited to, I think it's, what is it, level 7 is the highest, and it's only after promotion. Before then, it's like 5, and even then...
And on level 3 magic, there are even slots you can't take immediately.
Yeah, it's like, what was it? The matter of it, the second spell for any of the magic colors is never available to them. Like, I'm still learning what a red mage can and cannot have. And they're off. Or at least Krelen's off.
Probably have a little desync in the start. No big. Hey, there's Fade, learnable by the red mages. Life 2 off the table, but hey, that is an immediate sweeper spell of high power. Fast, also available and also learnable. So that's fast Fade. You don't need Ice 3 if you have Fade. I mean, Ice 3 could be valuable, but why bother? And you're also low on money having to buy that many spells.
Yeah, with all the unrunnables, it's very much valuable to have not 1 but 2 Fade casters in this case, so I can see Krelen getting a decent advantage off the early game on that. In terms of the late, 2 fast casters is useful in case of a go down, but with the heal plus magic and the heal magic, I don't think there's too much of a chance that they don't have access to either life for in battle or life 2 for out of battle. That said, early Toph Slab as Spellzapp picks up the race.
We also note we're going to get this synchronized. Thank you to Oslato, our restreamer, for getting that paused up so we can make sure each runner's where they're at. But as we get that catch up for Spellzapp, checking the magic, I kind of mentioned massive run, no encounters all the way to Toph, or running into Toph top left for Krelen before warping out to save again. That could make for a painful overworld grind if that is necessary for those black belts.
Granted, with the normal trap tiles, you'll probably see them picking up Aga if they really want to end up grinding those black belts.
Very true. Or we might have that weird moment where we have to go to ice early, but Spellzapp on his way out of Canaria to Toph, about to enter there.
Yep. Taking advantage of those tent saves. I'm learning that you need those tent saves. grabbing that iron. Because I imagine... Ooh, no, not the save for Krelen. Granted, sitting on 2 fades shouldn't be too much of an issue for taking out this Garland. There we go!
And job done. 318, more than enough.
Give him the rude fade. Oh, and the rude bats, and the rude encounter before Sarah. It was too good. Alright. And picking up the crystal, that's a very good early Matoya, assuming that things work out, and the crown. Ooh, that means we're going straight to dwarves with this.
Yep, we gotta have a ship or ship, canoe, or bridge, or key, honestly. That'd be hilarious if we got the key coming out of dwarves.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so what would the key change in terms of routing early? Other than, you know, access to the key checks?
Pretty much, if you're already in dwarves, you're going to dwarves lock, then you'd have to basically backtrack Toph lock, Canaria locked until you found another item to get you progression outside the initial area. We have open progression enabled, so the river systems for ice and volcano are linked, but we do not have the extended open progression, which would remove the rivers that block off Northwest Castle.
Yeah. He's taking advantage of those warps, and just an early in, always get those saves in. Especially with the high number of steps, they can do a nice hard reset to get pretty much anywhere they need in terms of an overworld walk. So while it's not good for the overworld grind, it is... Oh, there's the bridge. And the key! Hey, look! Roll a bingo, it's fine.
Hooray!
I mean, I'm down with that dwarf. It's very hooray.
Well, this is keeping that order. Toph and Canaria locked are definitely going to be checked, but that's not requiring access to... Ooh, adamant! Hey, that lazy-ish dwarf was just locked in storage.
Yeah, he forgot where he put the key. It took us, like, actually carrying to go look through boxes. That's an adamant. It's another good pickup while they're here.
Yeah, sadly, no immediate proximity TNT. That would have been just extra spicy.
Yeah. And ribbon to start, that is... Mwah, just chef's kiss.
Even rolled down, that is the best armor available, and it immediately goes on to Spellzapp's solo red mage. He wants to keep that caster up as long as he needs it.
Oh yeah, especially as the one with the, what is it, with the heal plus magic? Yeah.
Yep.
So that's gonna be really big. And yeah, it does seem they've taken that black belt purely for that teleport.
It does surprise me that Spellzapp went south into Canaria. He's not going to Toph. Krelen is going to check Toph, though. This could be an interesting piece of divergence early.
Well, I think one of those reasons for me would just be the fact that there's the chance that this trap tile's unrunnable. So... Thorhammer, not terrible. Not terrible. Extra Sweeper, though 2 fades, makes that a little redundant.
And don't underestimate the value of a caster item, because those fade charges can run out really fast if you start racking them up. And it looks like Spellzapp is going to go to Toph, but having already checked Canaria, just a bit of a routing difference.
Oh yeah, because I think since they know that the first encounter was so late on the encounter table, I almost probably would have saved at Corneria and then walked the way up here. Just because you're not going to get the encounters, just run the encounters you get in Toph, and then if it's nothing relevant, just reset it back to Corneria, just to save the time for getting back to Bridge. Now granted, the Thorhammer's going to probably keep them in this case, but just watching Spellzapp do that extra save outside felt sad.
Krelen actually did do that before he went up to Toph. He saved, so he could have reset out if he didn't want to keep what he's got. But having that Thorhammer and getting the shield, he's happy with that.
Oh yeah.
Out of warp and exit charges, though. That's why he had to take that fight. Meanwhile, Spellzapp, all the way over the bridge, heading to turn in the crystal and check what Matoya's closet has.
Oh yeah, that closet that always has 3 major incentive items.
If you fade it, you fade it at your own risk.
Alright, what do we got? We've got... Oh, ship. There's 1 out of 3. Bottle, there's 2 out of 3. And a katana +4. You know what? I'm counting that as a 3 out of 3.
And a Vorpal +5 for good measure. That is some late game weapons for the Thief and the Knight. I mean, the Red Mage could use the Vorpal come promotion.
I was gonna say, the katana isn't as useful for Krelen when they get there, but in terms of it, shouldn't be too bad.
Hey, it's a lot of gold for all those extra casters that he has that Spellzapp doesn't.
Did Krelen take a death in his checking these again? Or am I like...
Krelen had not checked them. Spellzapp went to Canaria Castle first, Krelen went direct to Toph, so this is the first time Krelen's actually checked them.
Got it. So I'm just... It's 10 p.m.
By the power of West Coast time, it's only 7:15 for me.
Yes! The power of time zones.
Fade coming out to wipe the party of the pirates.
Yep. Alright, BK, what do we got? We already have your ship. And it's a bit of money.
5,001.
Quickly checking the shop. Ooh, houses in this economy? Ouch.
That extra money is selling the katana. If Krelen ends up doing it, could pay for some of those.
It's true. Especially rolled up as high as it is.
Silver Cheerios, a pretty good armor for the rest of the party that can't equip the proper armor just yet.
So, I mean, is it supposed to... Okay, we call it a Cheerio. Is it supposed to be, like, a belt? That's my best guess here.
Technically, they're bracelets.
Ah.
That's why they don't make any sense.
We got bracket level 2, harm 2 at 2, but nobody has a white mage for the improved harm, so not much in terms of good level 2 spells. Unless you really want to bracken a Kraken.
Who doesn't want to bracken a Kraken?
I want to bracken a Kraken. I'm not even playing right now, and I want to bracken a Kraken.
Krelen's taking Bicky's hard-earned pirate booty enough to buy one whole house. I mean, Bicky could have retired with that money, evidently.
Yeah.
Not comfortably, but he would have had a roof over his head.
Is a portable... Because I was having an entire conversation with my partner's family over the houses. Ooh, those are even worse level 3 spells. I'm feeling suddenly less confident with this red mage plan.
Yeah, Rue's heal 2, not horrible, but...
Rue's in the slot.
Life, harm 4, Amute, and cure 3 there. That was...
Ooh,
and temper.
Alright. Temper in, what was that, slot 1?
Yep. Actually, no, slot 2. Slot 2 temper.
Wait, doesn't that mean that the red mage can't get it?
If it can't get it, it would have to promote 2. And the thief would be able to get that promoted.
Alright. So there's a chance. Meanwhile, checking the elf storage. And single shard. You know what? Well worth it. It's easy enough to leave.
Every shard is value because not only do you need all the shards to actually get into Topher, because orbs don't matter, we just need shards of the crystals. It's how the scaling occurs in this flag set for experiencing gold gain. That is the tail available from Spellzapp out of Astos.
Good old Astos and his lovely tail.
Dark Elves are known for doing many weird things, and evidently Astos wanted to collect himself some rat's tails.
It's fine. He's definitely not becoming a furry. It's fine. That said, they have ship, but not, what's the other thing called? Canal.
Canal.
Yeah. And
Just need
hey,
enough tools to blast it open, and finds
yep,
it
there it
right
is.
there.
It's fine. I was gonna say, that
This
means they're just
is-
like new, really, in terms of like major overworld progression.
Now, my question is, would that be considered some sort of French-esque, like Spanish vanilla? I don't know, because that's on the other side of where the canal normally would be. I don't know. I'm trying to make something up on the fly, and it's just not working as well as math on stream would. So I'm just gonna stop saying anything, let Krelen equip his gear, and Spellzapp go into Marsh.
Gonna say, just in terms of that bit from the chat, it's likely because of the minor delay from Spellzapp that we had. So we slow down. It'll be fine. Spoiler alert! Everything in the chat. It's fine.
Stacking the rod. That is a big find. That means now that they've got access to the Outer Sea, they've got access to all of Earth.
was gonna say, not bad to have Earth, especially with having Ship and Canal this early. I generally don't mind the early Earth dive, especially just to grab a couple of levels. That said, I probably... No, I think I'd do Earth and then try to promote with the tail. 'Cause I
I
don't
do
think there's
believe
anything...
Spellzapp just whiffed that. He used warp instead of exit, so he had to use an extra charge and use a house to get his charges back.
Ooh, especially with economy. Rough.
Well, either way, he is on his way into Marsh Bottom, as Krelen is on his way to pick up the canal somehow.
I was gonna say, ooh, Ruby. A nice crunchy treat for a friend that we should send to camp.
I would say looky a light axe, but with no white casters, or at least no white mages or wizards, the light axe is just an okay weapon.
Yeah, that's why I've been super team white mage for these flags.
Sticking with that harm all function in the randomizer is just so valuable, making harm an actual damages things other than stuff in marsh and earth.
Yeah.
And we even get a chance to look at Marsh Locked early, because that key coming out sooner than later.
Oh yeah. Never complain.
Should say this is an Oslotto seed, and anyone who's followed the races earlier last week and so on with Oslotto, where things like Canoe ended up in Sky and Chime was so often found before Oxyale, before Cube, this is pretty fast start, all things considered.
It's because I'm here to balance it out.
So
Alright.
Maddie equals the counterweight to Oslotto. Interesting.
I mean, I'm the counterweight to most cursed seeds. except for during marathons. If I'm commentating during a marathon, everything becomes 10 times as cursed. It's a deal I made with a witch years ago. And there is some TNT.
Couple boom boom sticks to make up for the poison damage that the poison touch, I should say, that the wizards had. The last box check here will be 14 gold and an exit.
Somebody's couch chain. Rude.
Spellzapp gonna be our first runner to actually leave the inner sea.
Now,
Does he check the TNT first, though?
I wonder, in terms of it... Again, my thought would be Earth into promotion, just because you don't need the early levels as much, and I'm starting to learn that very slowly. But then again, it would also allow them to grab Temper early, so they don't have to remember it for later.
He is going to go ahead and check the TNT. I don't blame him, because with promotion on board and with good weapons in hand, if he can get, like, the opal bracelet or actually find the X-Cow, he would be very happy, because I would give him a katana on the thief, that would give him an X-Cow on the knight, and a vorpal on the red mage. So...
the trifecta.
all the options.
I mean, you take the opal Cheerios.
Normally the best armor that a magic caster can hold or can use. Could also put it on the black belt if he wants to try and do a grind on the black belt before it gets up to high levels and has high absorb.
I say we say like that black belt's doing anything other than casting teleport this seed. We all know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe!
Well, Spellzapp does decide to go all the way south to the Cardia Isles to take advantage of one of the 3 docks added in this flag set, along with the Onrak and the Desert Dock for Mirage. Is going to go ahead and get promoted, having a lot of really good already endgame gear before even having dived Earth. This is going to make a big difference in the survivability.
Oh yeah, for sure. My thoughts were originally on the double fade, not really having to worry too much about it, but yeah, immediately popping all of this is really good. And like I say, in terms of it, I'm explaining a little bit of logic on my part here, just because I've witnessed it in a couple of other races. was just ignoring Cardia for the moment if you didn't need the promotion to like get some spell slots, because if you can manage to get your routing to work on the way, so like grab Cardia on the way to Onrak or on the way to Ordeals or anything else on the northern continents, it just makes it that you're not making 2 long trips up and down the vertical axes of the world. So while it's what, like 20-ish seconds, it can be the difference in some of these races, because there's been a lot of really close ones over the course of this tournament.
That is very, very true. I think why Spellzapp went that way is the stack of equipment. If that promotion doesn't give you anything other than the potential to get your magic cast earlier, then it's not as incentivized as having a katana, a vorpal, opal, and dragon armor, flame shield, all the stuffs.
Oh yeah.
Well, we also did get a quick look there, I noticed, of level 5 magic, Cure 2, Heal 3 Fog, and Exfer for level 5 white. Not horrible spells to find. Krelen, meanwhile, is actually back in Elfland, gonna check the item shop, possibly restock on supplies. As Spellzapp skips Titan's Trove, immediately goes to Sarda. Probably just gonna reset out if Sarda has nothing, and Sarda has a shard, so he's gonna take it.
Yeah, you gotta take those shards if you can. It generally, like, it doesn't feel like a lot of when, like, fighting a boss will give you 4 just immediately like that. But in terms of it, those very minor ones, like, oh hey, I found 1 here, 2 here, just 1 there, they'll start adding up really quickly. So when you start getting to, like, okay, I'm midway through my skydive, and, like, I need to see how many I have, how much do I need to, like, focus grabbing all these chests versus just running at Tia, I found that's where a lot of my runs end, is, like, either mid-sea or mid-sky, where I'm like, okay, how much do I need? When do I have 4 left to bum rush this boss? Let's go.
Indeed, with the shard hunt and having to make sure you know how many shards you have, what will get you what shards when you need it, and if you ever reset out of a shard, where that shard was, if it's an easy get back. I personally have experienced that as the moment.
I was gonna say, interesting reset on the Pro Cape. Those are normally good, but then I remembered, oh yeah, the Red Mage can just equip normal shields, so there's really not a need for it in these parties, is there?
Yep, the Universal Shield is useless when the Universal Shield isn't needed for any character that actually normally wields it. Hey, a Dragon Sword, that would be nice, normally.
Yeah, it's fine. Because we're taking advantage of those houses for the warp and exit charges back, just in case things go a little, what's a PG term I could use for this one? Bad.
Catawampy?
Yes.
Or Catawampus? I try to say it, but...
We got everyone rolling in such lovely time. And...
askew. It goes askew.
Belly up. Ooh, Krelen resetting out of the shard. That is an interesting choice. Now, granted, we know. And the loot.
That's item go mode acquired, and honestly, promoted with the gear they have, I don't even think they need to bother with any of the other incentive turn-ins. They just need to focus on go mode. Yeah, they could get a ribbon if they find one loose, because they've already got the incentive one. So yeah. It's the X-Cow, basically, is the most valuable... Well, Roostick and Power Bonk.
Yeah,
those are not to be... Yeah.
The one that I would be thinking of in terms of, like, still checking would have been the Power Bonk, but this is the point where if it's in, like, Lefane, they don't care.
They already have access to Fast. They don't have access to Temper so far that we've seen, I don't think. Actually, no, we saw it at level 4 Black. Yeah,
level 2, or it's the second slot, so they needed the promotion to get it, but it is there. And I'm starting to feel like you want high-level magics and, like, lowest-level magics, because 4 is the worst one to menu to. 4 and 5 is like, no, everything's bad. It's gonna take me 30 years to select a spell.
Well, thankfully, one of the many creature comfort improvements in the randomizer. Hey, Chime in TFC Earth, or Earth TFC. That's access to Mirage Tower. That's a place to go after Earth Dive is finished with good number of chests and some late game enemies.
I say Krelen pulling a me and stepping on a drop tile after he's going through all of the effort to go around it.
Yeah, it always happens. It's just slip. It's just the banana moment. Banana peel on the floor.
I still don't entirely know where all the trap tiles are. I'm gonna have to learn in like 3 days. It's gonna be really fun. Because at least
Probably the
everything
thing,
is interesting.
yeah, probably the thing that always caught me until I realized, oh wait, is in Earth or Fire Armory, Fire or Volcano 2 Armory, in the room that has all the chests. If you
Oh,
take the final turn immediately, you always get a trap tile. You have to go one tile past the wall and then go down.
yeah, I just checked that one out. What's the one that is getting me? There's a room here in Earth. I think it's Earth 3. The one that has like the 2 trap tiles that have Ogre and Cerberus on them. And then I would like, in that room alone, I'd like trip 5 trap tiles despite there only being 3 in there. And it's like, how did I do this? It's terrible. I don't know which ones help. I bumble around like a drunk idiot. Also, did you see something on Spellzapps? I missed it entirely.
I mean, I saw an Ice Sword +2, which is a nice find, again, if he didn't already have better weapons, but still.
Just closet's weird.
Krelen is actually doing this dive pre-promotion. Honestly, I don't blame him because he doesn't have the Thief to get stacked up as well as everything else, and if he does want to potentially utilize that black belt, not promoting early makes sense because ooh, and that is the herb. That's another fast check item. Find that power bonk, find that rue stick. But yeah, if you promote the black belt to the master, it loses the increased MDef gain that the default black belt has, so you actually do not get as much security and safety.
Oh yeah. Now granted, again, you got a Katana +4, early level spells in terms of this, so getting those early spell slots are huge. It's basically a really big back and forth gamble in terms of these settings and these teams. If they really want to go for the black belt, it means that they have to guarantee, so they probably have to take their grind in Volcano just to make sure that they can get that thief down for the extra fasts and temper spells. But if they don't care about the black belt and just like, yep, Katana 4, which I would be team Katana 4, you can promote whenever you want.
But I have to agree, at this point, Spellzapp's party, as long as that solo red mage can be backed up by whatever white and black magic the ninja and the knight can wield, is probably going to pull it through. The more sweepers early definitely seems good for Krelen and could be good later depending on what packs they see. We also haven't seen many unrunnable packs as of yet. But yeah, the big guns that Spellzapp has in his hands should matter.
I'm gonna say, fasting the fighter with the Vorpal 5 over the ninja. Now granted, I guess they're early levels, so the ninja doesn't have as much punch in terms of the hit percentage increases, but that's an interesting choice to me considering the Katana being +4, and I think having the better crit rate of the two.
I would say the Katana is statistically just the better sword at this point, even if it rolls +1 less, which it didn't.
It did roll 1 less. It's a Katana 4 and a Vorpal 5.
I stand corrected, but still, it's a better sword. We still haven't seen Crescent. That'll be interesting when they actually go that way. We could have Vanilla Canoe.
I didn't want to heal pot up the thief. That makes some sense. That makes some sense. Well, they have life in battle, and the red mage has it in their slots. There's that Excal +4. That's a spicy boy.
The only outstanding equipment at this point would be the slab and the bottle turn-ins, which will turn into the power bonk and the ruse stick. We already seen the white shirt. We have not seen the defense sword yet.
Yep. Because I do like the defense sword in terms of it. Now granted, I don't use it as much. I tend to just be like, I have the invis shirt, let's just go, it'll be fine. They won't kill me before I've gotten 2 invis off.
Yep, there you go. Spellzapp picking up temper for both the ninja and the red wizard as Krelen deals with the thing in front of the ice sword.
Yeah. Now there's an advantage to Krelen's party in this one, in just that the white magic early isn't huge in terms of necessity on that fighter. turning into the knight. So they could get away with doing the grind with the 2 red mages, because they're still going to get the level 4 slots that they need for that temper. Just a matter of that they'll only learn it after promotion. So they're not as bad off, but I still think I favor the ninja in this matchup, just because of that early katana.
I'm just gonna say I favor Spellzapp's party. For those who just joined us, we got a raid of 5 people from Iker's stream. Thank you very much. We've got a variation in parties here with 2 red mages, a punch machine, and a knight and a fighter for Krelen. Meanwhile, a red mage, punch machine, a thief, and a ninja for Spellzapp. Spellzapp having promoted, whereas Krelen has not yet. The reason that party went that way with that punch machine, that is the black belt or master in the case of Spellzapp, is it came with Telemagic, and pretty much the only reason that is a floater in Mirage. Still no Canoe though. This is an Oslato seed, so Canoe's probably in Sky.
Yeah.
But we did have Krelen going with the black belt and the fighter, and then double red mage. No one went with the white or the black mage, just went with the red mage because it had heal plus magic and plus fighter armor, so it's a valid survivable backup melee user as well as a healer. And the fighter came with free heal magic as well, so survivability early was a thing.
I was gonna say, and in here has to be Canoe or oh, what's the other one that could be Oxyale? Or Cube. Cube could also realistically be in here, but Spellzapp's in here in the early levels because it is the last section that they have access to.
Outside of this, it is the store in Onrak, the store and the Sages in Crescent, if we haven't seen those. Oh,
There's
Oxyale.
the Oxyale.
Yep, it's an Oslato seed.
Pro Ring 5, that's not bad. Just rolling that high up.
Don't recall those being seen in a store, so...
Because I think they were in Provoca. I think I saw the Pro Rings, but they were like really expensive. That said, Krelen giving this Lich a very rude fade, couple of smacks, and just completely relying on those supers to get the job done. Dude, a little bit of a bonk, and there he goes. Bye-bye! Everyone say goodbye to the Lich.
That is double orbs lit as Spellzapp taking the wide wrap around.
Hey, never question the wide, boys.
I even played this game for decades. I do not memorize the fastest way around the map many times. Spellzapp went to the right, which I think is actually faster. I would normally have gone to the left because I normally think it was faster, but realistically his route was probably faster. But hey, I guarantee I won't be in this tournament for that much longer. I'm playing Fryteeth later this week.
Playing Fizzle on Thursday. I have a tombstone picked out, but I am going to try my best.
Well,
I want a good show.
Yep, Krelen going to promote as Spellzapp is our first runner into C. Going left side first, it looks like. It's an Ice Shield +2. That's a huge piece of kit. Fire Shield and Ice Shield equipped.
So my bid for the left side first on this one is probably for the sake of if something goes wrong, they can exit out as necessary, and then obviously use a house, because they are available here in the city. Oop. But if they can get all the way to Kraken with this party and maybe take a couple of good grinds up, then they can go back in if they need the shards to the mermaids, but if otherwise, they're here for the shards on Kraken because, again, they're in otherwise go mode. So, Kraken's the more concerning measure. If you get the items you need on the way, you can just pivot to go to Sky and, yeah, finish up, because generally taking out the 2-4 starters tends to put you in a good position for finishing up, with a few minor exceptions. So hey, a beautiful blue T-bone.
You know, Krelen getting that T-bone steak in the desert's nice for him, but Spellzapp finding the 4-pack of sea snakes that have sleep touch. Yeah, I'd take the blue steak.
Yum, yum, yum. Swap things around, getting the light packs for this lot. Unrunnable ghosts. Ooh.
Said earlier we hadn't seen many unrunnable packs, but evidently they were in C.
Yep. They're just all in C. If you enter C, in the gallery, you're not allowed to run. Then the Sorrels on this contract that they both signed.
Krelen realizing after fighting that blue stake that he had not reconfigured the armor on his party. Post-promotion, gonna take care of that, get that dragon armor equipped, and figure out discards that opal armor because he only has the one knight. That dragon armor +4 is just that more valuable.
I was gonna say, so are they both knight armors?
Yes, the dragon armor and the opal armor are knight exclusive armors unless some other blessing might exist that allows them to wear.
Yep, Krelen picking up that floater now. And the variety of goodies here. And there's that canoe in the... Now, okay, so here's my prediction on routing. Spellzapp finishes the Kraken route, just in terms of, again, picking up those 4 shards. Then goes, grabs floater, and then probably does Volcano.
Spellzapp is definitely going to redive mermaids, I'd say, because it's a very fast relative check for more shards and items. He's not really in item search, he's in total go mode, but yeah, get the ship, get into the sky after leaving the Onrek continent. He's not going to bother with, even though he has the canoe, he's not going to go waterfall, that's for sure.
Yeah, waterfall is way out of the way, and unless you like really need it and don't want to do any of the dungeon dives like ice, it's not worth taking.
Yep, and Spellzapp's out of the Sharknado room, heading towards Kraken's floor as Krelen tries to fade away some bad kitties.
It's a Spellzapp on, yep, the Kraken floor. Ooh, the big eye. It's Eye Junior.
That is the best juicy pack you'll find as far as a two-item pack. Gonna get a lot of experience coming up here. 3,600 for 4-man is a lot of experience. 12 across the board with promotion, with the high-level gear he has. He is totally ready to do Kraken unless Kraken is completely cracked.
I mean, a cracked Kraken sounds like a good time.
He could try and brack Kraken. He has the spellcast.
But did he buy Brack? That's the question.
I know Krelen did. I don't know if Spellzapp did.
Also, I mean, we all know that that red mage has that heal plus magic, which means he knows life, which means he will be punched directly in the face.
True, Krelen will at least have the advantage of 2, well, 3, including the knight. Although the knight, did it? I forgot level. No, it only has life 2 as an option. Life 1 was at level 4 white, and no way in the heck can you get. Oh wow, Krelen actually found the blue stake and knows where it is in the encounter table.
Ooh, that could make a big deal. Oh, there goes the black belt.
Yeah, at this point it is a Blade of Meat Shield, and that is a successful Bracken of the Kraken by Spellzapp. Applauds in the chat.
And both of our runners are at level 13 on the nose across the party. Taking advantage of that house. I think this is probably... Oh, nope. Yep, bringing him back just for the sake of obviously getting access to those exit and warp. And yes, he is going to go dip the mermaid chest.
Honestly, it only makes sense to take care of the mermaid chest because its chest density might be a little spread out compared to like Mirage Tower, but it's comparable to the first 2 floors of Sky, and you might as well do it while you're here. You're only short of shards at this point. You don't even need the cube because you will have access to Volcano and Ice to get those remaining shards you need, so...
Yeah. Picking it all up. And it's some money. Oh, nope, 1 shard.
Interesting that he went straight to mermaids. He did not bother checking TFC, TFC North, or any of the other floor, or right side 2 floor.
Well, in
any
terms
of the chests on the floor on the right side before mermaids.
Right? I think it's because a lot of them are singular and massively out of the way, and again, just sitting on that exit and warp, it could be a matter of getting everything in here using the warp and then getting it on the way out. But seems... Yeah, you are right, it's very weird routing.
Carbonation confirmed. Good job, Spellzapp.
Excellent. That's an automatic win. We can pack it up.
Ooh, that is huge. It's vanilla, but that is ice armor. That's the best equipment he can throw onto that ninja. Combine that with the fire shield, and that is 2 levels of protection.
There's only about 3-ish shards, but that is more than enough of what we need here. In terms of it, yeah, here's the warp end doing the other floor here, just in case things go a little sour. My guess is there's gotta be an amount of it. Oh, okay, I get it. Because in this one, then you can warp out after you finish TFC and the other chest up there, as opposed to the smaller room of mermaids. So you don't have to go as far for the double walk out of TFC in that.
It is interesting floor routing that goes beyond even my understanding or care. There are many people throughout history in the community or outside the community who have pixel peeped exactly the perfect routing for step counts.
Meanwhile, I'm just here like, yeah, no, it'll work. I'm learning my routing very on the fly. This tournament is my first tournament that I've been in, so it's been a very fun experience, kind of learning everything. And literally letting me like do every check and learn my way around everywhere. So it's been a very big thing, and just seeing how different people handle things and trying to glean the sense behind it has been a really fun activity for me. And I would recommend it.
What our racers are trying to do is glean the cube, but that's a horrible reference. Krelen is going mermaid side first, whereas Spellzapp did go Kraken side first, so Krelen a little ways from getting that canoe. We'll get there eventually, along with the 4 shards for beating the Kraken.
Oh yeah. That said, in terms of it, I think just on that ninja alone, I think Spellzapp just has such an advantage here.
Gonna make sure he stops for the store and buys those houses. 1,700 gold is more than enough, even with this kind of property pricing.
The economy will recover someday. We promise.
Fun fact, that cube could still be in a shop. He could be leaving it behind and not caring.
I mean, at this point, if it is in a shop, I don't think it's worth like massive amounts of steps and other stuff necessarily, especially considering incentive items in shops tend to be very expensive. I think getting the houses and then just kind of shrugging and saying if you have to, you do all of Volcano and Ice versus taking the risk of going to that shop, and then obviously you need the spell slots and such. Plus, this floater is available, which is going to make all of the overworld travel next to trivial.
Very true. Spellzapp in the air at just over 39 minutes. Krelen, meanwhile, rediving to get into C and take out Carrie, having taken the right side taken care of. Spellzapp gonna see what the sages have. It would be hilarious if they had the cube, but I'm gonna guess they have like some token item.
I mean, it's a soft. Sometimes you need that soft.
Krelen picking up that Ice 2 shield. Meanwhile, Spellzapp going south, gonna check the Gaia shop, gonna check possibly magic. Pretty much there's nothing. I don't think 1 or 2 spells in this entire city are learnable by that red mage.
Yeah.
And no shop item. What does the fairy have? Is it the power bunk or is it the ruse stick?
Yeah, now that slab is translated. It is power. Excellent.
It's a little rusty after being underwater, but I mean, it does the job. Next stop, gonna be a quick run down the Lefame, get the ruse stick. That'll clear up all the incentive items, and then he can go straight back up into Volcano, which is realistically his next most logical step.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's a very chest dense, rather fast to get around with without too many encounters due to the lava tiles. Has the grind possibility if he wants to take a few fights on the Agamas.
Yeah, I can probably see that happening in terms of it, just because this is going to be our last one. Picking up that ruse stick, there it is, and then popping out, grabbing. I think it should just be Volcano, and then probably I could see them I could see Spellzapp basically finishing everything in Volcano. There's probably enough shards in there between Carry and the variety of chests available. So I could probably see them taking the Agadive just because it's consistent. Now that said, I've seen a lot of people vary for the Topher dive, just because of the buckets of experience and stuff in there gives. But it's a rough call in terms of this one. They're not getting a black belt up, so the Agama's not like peak the better choice.
It's definitely an option there to get a few levels, especially if you're not in Shard Go mode. But if you're not in Shard Go mode by the time you leave Volcano, you're probably going to peak Ice to try and get those last few shards, rather than spend any time specifically in Volcano to level. And if you do go into Ice, you have the possibility of the Eye. That said, they also have the Warp available on that Black Belt to use the Warp trick, and not have to go all the way through Sky if they only need those first few chests.
Yeah.
And Krelen gets the canoe.
Hooray! Finally, minor water trouble. Granted, we all know what happens when you try to put large ships in small canals. And that is like, what, like 4 shards in there? That is huge.
Especially when Spellzapp was only 8 shards loose last I checked. He could probably... Yeah, there you go, 5 shards. He only needs 3 more chest shards and then the kill on carry to be in a full-on go mode.
Yeah, and at this point, you just run at it. Now, it would be very, very funny if there was only 2 more shards left in the rest of Volcano. And like a cube. Granted, at that point you just run it Tia. Now, actually, what do you think, Davian? Do you run it Tia in that case because you know you're going to get 4? Or do you stop and try to do all the checks on the way?
I probably would just go to Ice rather than bothering to go all the way to Sky if I'm only 1 shard short, because the chest density in Ice, yeah, it's a slightly longer initial run before you get to any chests, but it's still pretty quick to get into. Plus, they already have seen what's in what's in Mirage Tower, which is just really annoying. Hey, there's the loose ribbon. I think that's all. Is that all 3 or just the second? I've seen. I've got a little seed bleed.
I think that's only 2. I only remember 2. There's 1 shard. Everyone, we gotta learn to count to 3. Shoot. At this point, the mage stick, not really worth it.
The Wiz stick would be funny to see to confuse carry, but meh. And that opal helm, nice, but not really ever going to be equipped because the ribbon is probably going to stay on that night.
Because they getting that door glitch, always fun.
Never knew that existed until I started playing the rando, but evidently that is actually a vanilla glitch that'll happen on the NES with the stock game. Oh wow, there are only 3 chests left, and he still needs 2 more loose shards.
What did I say? What did I say?
2 left in an Agama, and 1 health on all but one of his party members, so fun.
Could be maybe going for the solo fighter grind.
Well, that'd be interesting. These Cerberus with stop power just does everything to hinder everything that isn't the knight.
Cerberus being like, no, 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 we gotta take more time on this seed, sir.
Go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Oh god. Oh god, Oslaughter, why?
Oh.
Our
what
first
happened?
wipe at 4450. It was paralyzed into sleep into nuke.
Ooh. Like the 1 health of fucking a heat would have done it.
Had to be something to overturn the 100+ health that knight had with all of his good gear, and Nuke definitely did it. That's gonna set Spellzapp back a little, but that said, he only has to go through and get the shards he had. Sadly, they were pretty spread out.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Krelen is done with Kraken, done with sea, heading towards the Ryokan Desert to pop himself into the air with that ancient airship.
Gonna say a little bit later, but that bounce is definitely liable to get us a significant catch-up here.
Krelen using the menuing optimization of popping the bottle before as he's popping the airship, so he can save the menuing when he goes to... Okay, I'm a little confused. Yeah, he's routing to get the herb turret that he has not done yet, which... Yeah.
That was the X-Cal, if I recall correctly. Yep, there it is. Which, obviously, pretty important for the current party layout.
Substantial upgrade as far as a daily user compared to that Vorpal, which can also now go on to one of his red mages if he chooses to do so.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Spellzapp back on the Agama floor, gets the ribbon taken care of. Gonna make sure that his party's healed up, I'd assume. Or he might just try and fade some chests to get off the encounter table that he was on before, or encounter spot, but it looks like not. He is going to check every single chest, not bothering to skip. I understand, because you can't always remember exactly what shards were where, what chests were not. And Krelen, meanwhile, I think he's just kind of going, did I go here? Did I go here?
I think there's a lot of second guessing where he's been, which is very unfortunate, especially because we know what they have for the most part. Yeah, no, Krelen, no. Wonder if it's any seed bleed.
Well, Krelen did get the turn in for the TNT. Forgot to do that when he had the key before he had the key before he got the TNT. So that would make sense why he would want to come back here, but had forgotten which one he had or had not done.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's wondering, like, what overworld checks did I not do? And here's the volcano dip. Just now being more sure of those things. Probably was looking for power bonk more than anything else, if I had to guess.
We now know from process elimination and having seen it from Spellzapp's side that the power bonk and the things that come out of Lefane and the bottle turn in are what come out of Lefane and the bottle turn in. Choice Spellzapp not even bothering with the shark or with the dragon tile. He doesn't think it's gonna have one of the two shards he needs, so he's just gonna fade it.
Yeah.
Also, using heal pots, not trying to use up any spell charges, he's gonna wait, fast swing.
I think he's hoping for the experience exclusively on that fighter here.
Yeah, man mode fighter swings katana or X-Gals 800 damage and carry 1 doesn't die. That is a thick snake lady, but 10,090 is more than enough to clean it up. Puts him to level 17 on that night, his sole remaining standing party member. Gonna go ahead and, I'd assume, res up.
Gonna say, this is interesting.
I think he's...
Cardia for the 2 shards?
Yeah, Cardia Isles is a really fast check for a lot of shards. He's not resurrecting his black belt, so he doesn't have access to telemagic, unfortunately, but... Hey, if he finds what he needs, he can run it out. If he doesn't, he can just reset out.
Yeah. I mean, there's the extra life cast on the fighter as well, so it's not a huge issue. You can just bring up the belt when you need it, but still interesting.
That was an Opal Shield +2. I think he's already got a better shield available, but I don't remember for sure.
Yeah. He's got to be holding that fighter for a solo fighter grind.
Well, unfortunately, he doesn't know what Krelen knows about the blue snake in the desert, but hey, those are the 2 shards. That is completion. Yeah, get out of the way, dragon person. You're not needed here. That is Krelen, or Spellzapp, I should say, at just over 49 minutes. He's in shard acquired go mode.
Alright, we get our Topher dip at 50 minutes. We take those.
Is he gonna try and do a go mode with a man mode? Nope, he's going first
gonna get those
floor
fighter
grind.
levels. Well, because we know Fast's at an early spell slot level, we know we have the power bonk, and Temper is more than available on that red mage, so everything is in place. The only thing we need is that fighter being strong enough to just punch his way through stuff.
Spellzapp noticing he did not pick up the mage staff. He did not have room in his inventory for it. Without the mage staff, you don't have access to free Fire 2 cast, which would be effective against that Metal Slime pack.
Womp womp.
Also noticing when he was checking for his magic that he actually didn't have any spells, which means he didn't have his Life 2 or Fade. So that's been taken care of. Also going to go ahead and get the magic on his ninja. Even if it's dead, he can still learn the magic for some reason.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
you can teach a dead man, you can teach a statue.
It's the ninja secret art necromant. No question.
Look, if Orochimaru could pull it off, I guess, well... Technically, it was the second Hokage's technique that Orochimaru kind of used instead.
It's movie magic.
Well, fades against a 6-pack of metal slimes. If it hits the kill, this is going to be a huge chunk of experience right here. Yeah, they're a bit over 230 probably hit points, but another fade cast will do it, and that armor is definitely keeping this knight up. They're 25-ish damage at the top end, not enough to chunk through its experience or its hit points at this moment. And meanwhile, Krelen is on the Agama floor, is fighting some Agamas.
Yep. Grab that cabin, so we get just Krelen on that shards.
Interesting thing here, because Spellzapp is doing this on first floor, and if he needs it, he is running back out, housing up just to get his spell shard or charges back. It looks like he's soft reset instead of hard reset because he's on a different encounter, but 2 worms isn't horrible either, and it will go down faster and not use any spell charges compared to the metal slimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd be doing too. Just rely on whatever's next in the line.
Ghost Pirate in chat pointing out the Topher exit, boo. Yeah, that is not something in the vanilla game. That is a flag we have in the randomizer that puts a walkable exit at the Topher entrance. Normally, the only way you'd get out of Topher in the vanilla game is if you were to warp or exit out, because you still are able to go back to the future from the past with those spells.
I mean, you gotta go full Marty McFly on it. Alright, and we are smacking a carry with all that health and Quad X. Bye-bye!
I was thinking more Samurai Jack.
Back to the back. Back to the back. It is
back
too
to the
late.
past to help out Jack.
It's way too late for me to remember the Samurai Jack theme song.
Well, Spellzapp has fully rezzed his party, is on his way in past the loot plate. Meanwhile, Krelen going to check Sarda, gonna realize he already checked Sarda, and move on from there. Still needs a few shards. Nope, he gets the shard from Sarda. He is one... Okay, interesting. He could just beeline carry and get there, or he can check cardio, which is what Spellzapp did, and find those necessary shards.
Yeah.
Which looks like he is kind of in that proximity.
I think he's trying to figure it out, or pulling
And
at
he
me
has
and
done
not knowing
so.
where to land.
Using the save and air tactic so he doesn't have to lift off or land on the isle if need be. He can just reset out. Meanwhile, Lich 2 encountered, didn't go down immediately. Meanwhile, also quad-Xing the ninja. 300 damage off that hit pretty fast on that X-Cal. Not a whole lot of damage, but that extra vitality on that fighter, it's already at 600 plus hit points. It is survivable. Gonna keep that ninja facing down as Spellzapp runs on through the volcano floor. Cannot run away from this Agama R-Giant pack, but honestly, I usually like to take this if I feel I'm shy on levels, because these Agama packs in multiple are pretty valuable.
Yeah. I was gonna say, in terms of that ninja down, I just think it's necessary until you're getting to, like, the front of the carry fight. You don't really need to worry about all your heals, because you can end up in an unrunnable with, like, Death Touch or something like that. Just end up eating spell slots that you don't need to waste on that, well, decent trip between Lich 1 and carry, or Lich 2 and carry 2, as well as carry 2 and, what's his name, Kraken 2.
Technically, all the fiends except for Lich are women.
Huh.
I will always fan state that Tiamat lives in the Sky Palace and Bahamut lives in a little in a island cave because Tiamat took the palace in their divorce. Meanwhile,
Oh, wait.
Kelly 2 is dead. That was fasted Exile doing its job.
And we got Krelen getting the shards. 1, and... Yep, that was the
Krelen
last
in
one.
go mode.
Alright.
If this Topher turns out to be a chaotic little example of the Topher that we've seen past few races, ooh, another unrunnable good pack for experience. 2 Big Eyes and a Gershark. Again, gonna take that. 5 hits, 800 damage, takes out one of the Big Eyes, punches another one for only 4 hits. That shows you how low level that master is. Still doing an okay amount of damage, but not nearly what that katana just did to that eye.
Oh yeah. And good old slash. Grabbing all that juicy XP for those extra hits, that extra damage is gonna be fine.
Now, does Krelen feel like he's... Yeah, it looks like he's going straight there. He's almost an hour. He just got his final shards. He has to assume his opponent is either in Toph or on his way to Toph and going. We have a Kraken 2 fight. Meanwhile, 3 hits. So there's a lot more than 3 hits, and that's the Red Mage down. Thankfully, the Knight does have Life 2 cast. He verified that. Going to fast up the Knight with the Black Belt. Knight gonna swing with the X-Cal, gonna get 3 hits, 514. That's an evasive Kraken. Kraken taking the Ninja down to 54 hit points and on a knee. Another swing from the Knight, 1,094 on that with 10 hits. Gonna get the kill on Kraken 2. Gonna bring back up the Red Mage and heal pot his Ninja onto his feet. Krelen doing some grinding as Spellzapp is on to Tia 2.
Yeah, and this is where that non-set RNG is coming in really big, because Spellzapp ended up with 2 really good packs in terms of off that RNG, whereas Krelen's got the Bad Men, which are not particularly good from my understanding. They exist, for sure, and they will give experience, but not compared to those worms and those metal slimes.
Well, on a different floor, gets different encounters. Meanwhile, Crack came out, took care of Dan and Dang. But the fast did get out from the Red Mage onto the Knight. The Knight gets the swings in, and there you go. That is 2 men down. Experience goes to where it needs to be, which would be that Red Mage and that Knight. Gonna leave the party members down, run straight into Chaos's floor. No more encounters until he fights the final boss. What will Spellzapp do? Is he gonna take 2 mana, or is he gonna revive?
Yeah, we're gonna see those revives. There they are.
Doesn't need those fade charges because he's got that X-Cal swing. Does he remember to switch off the X-Cal to that Vorpal?
Nah.
Nope, he's just going to swing the big old X-Cal and ignore the lack of credibility.
It's an X-Cal plus 4. It just means you get an extra temper in there, and with 2 temper casters, you're... Oh, nuke! Well, now we man mode.
Thankfully, the fast comes out for the Red Mage that survived the nuke. The Ruse Stick coming out. Gonna go ahead and Cure 3 to get that... Yep. The Ruse Stick's doing its job. Yeah, that equally likely to be hit the 3rd and 4th slot 1/4 of the time, or 1/8 of the time, however it breaks down. But there's nothing in the first 2 slots, so it's all 50-50. Rub comes out, does not hit the Red Mage. Gonna go ahead and Power Bonk and Temper. Really wants to stack it on that Knight. Ice 2 comes out, does not do much damage to Chip, if anything. Gonna go ahead and heal 3 to heal both the Red Mage and the Knight. Miss, that is all the Ruse stacks needed. Will he go with Fight and Magic, or what will he do? Gonna go with Lock 2 for evasion stats, or to keep evasion down. Easy to hit, 333. That is a dead Red Mage. Powerbomb comes out, gonna switch to swings. He does have the Vorpal on there. 5 hits for 1300, 332 off of that nuke, but is survived. 262 available. 530 damage. Zap misses. Another swing. 7 hits, 1625. This is a thick Chaos who is now fasted. That is scary, but ooh, even more scary, a miss. Fire 3 is not a punch. Fast does not matter. 6 hits, 1127, and that is GG at 59:50 on the clock. Race time, GG time official of 58:57 for Spellzapp. GG's in chat.
GG's. And honestly, yet another great race from this tournament, with Krelen obviously in there in the Toph, just trying to get that little bit of extra grind in case of it. But we will see what the difference is here, because again, I think that Ninja made like 90% of the difference here in terms of like getting here, but once that X-Cal was in hand, yeah, the fighter became the very clear option.
Meanwhile, Krelen is done with his grind, has decided to take his full dive into Toph. Gonna go ahead and hit Lich's floor. And we are joined in the booth by Spellzapp, our winner for the race. GG Spellzapp.
Hey, thanks guys.
Yes, so we have I have one question in terms of it. So the choice of in terms of Krelen, if you've been watching since you finished, double Red Mage instead of a Thief. What are your thoughts on that one?
You gotta go Thief.
I mean,
you gotta. There's just so many, like, yeah, there's unrunnables, but 100 agility is insane. It gives you so many more preemptives, and so much better run chance.
Yeah, I don't think we saw too much. Like, there was a bit of routing divergence in terms of, I think you went to Toph, and... No, you went to Corneria and then Toph, and Krellen went to Toph and then Corneria. So it was a little bit of, like, interesting route divergence early, and then you were just zooming along for the majority of it with that ninja.
Yeah, it was one of those late canoe seeds where you just sort of did what was around you. I mean, yeah, I guess you could swap a couple things, but not really. I guess the only thing I could have done was go to the Sages, but pretty much it was pretty linear just because you don't get canoe early.
I think the biggest divergence early was actually one going out to check what the ruby gave and then hit Earth before Rod was discovered in Marsh, which you were able to get and make work.
Yeah,
Or
with
you-
Key, I think you got to go Marsh there just because you don't want to go to Rodless Earth.
Yeah. Rodless Earth is a sad time, with sad
Did you enjoy
treasures.
your first volcano dive?
I was actually laughing a lot when that happened. Like, you can't do anything but laugh at that point, just because, so many things could get you out of there, and you don't expect to just get nuked by a random enemy.
It's fine. Just the Cerberus were packing nuclear weapons across borders. It's fine. They're hiding in the volcano. It's their secret volcano lair.
We always love to see stuff like that.
Their next mission, the moon. That said, we do have Krelen healing up before I think this is going into Kraken 3, which is always a time, she said with massive exaggeration. Say the
I
number
think
of
that would be
runs
an understatement, actually, but having that white shirt going to go ahead and use the black belt to actually evade up.
I mean, it's a function. Can't complain.
Actually, fasting the master, question of using that for hits, I think is under level 20. It's not going to do that much damage, but at least it's a backup. I would say having the Vorpal and or just spells on the red mage.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably, go with the second red mage on this one. Granted, I'm very for the red mage melee plan. I've committed to it a total of once, and I definitely have no regrets. None at all.
That was
Saber
a
is a
question.
spell.
That was a question I had for Spellzapp. With that tail showing up so soon, with all that good post-promotion gear, how eager were you to get promoted?
Yeah, I mean, I always like getting promoted early in these flags because then you can just equip whatever you find. Because you're usually taking a ninja and a knight, so if you pick up like knight armor or ice or whatever, you can put it on the ninja and you can have some pretty decent gear early just by getting that early class change.
Alright, so we also know that the black belt was entirely there for the telemagic, but how on a scale of like 1 to 100, what were the odds of actually grinding the black belt up?
I mean, there's always an option, right? I think you have to get late canoe, but you have to not find tail before getting getting through all that, so that you just go straight into maybe a volcano with a bunch of shards, and then you grind. I think that's really the only option. I mean, you could do an ice cave too, but you'd have to get late canoe without getting tail. I think is really the main thing.
That makes sense. Because I think the few times I've heard about it in these settings, it was just like, yep, I took a black belt and I lost, because that grind. That said, we have Krellen in here, coming in with that white shirt, getting that invis off, and doing a little bit of a experimental snap with that Excalibur. Did not change to the Vorpal, tempering up, getting a nice smack on that red mage, and the fast comes off. So, we're about to get really nasty really quick with a double temper. I don't think we picked up that power bonk from the fairy, so we're just going pure temper on this one. Getting real mad real quick, getting that 7 hits, good amount of damage, a little bit of extra punch, and there's the nuke! And there goes Jiminy. Or Genway. I'm not sure. Oh no, it's Janeway! Oh, okay. The Cure 4 coming out, keeping that fighter up, and Blizzard on top! Oof, we did not see that from Spellzapp's fight with it. Another good couple of hits, but we are in a rough spot. We're going to have to keep that fighter as healthy as possible with 2 nasty spells like those in rotation. Cure 4 coming up. And, dude, let's see it. Another temper. We gotta get that up with that Excalibur. We need, I think it's 2 extra tempers for an Excalibur versus something like the Vorpal. Taking a decent chunk, about 100 damage worth of a punch from Chaos. 4 hits back, 400 damage. Ice 2, taking a little bit of a chip off. Getting that rude fade out there. Only 90. Oh, sad faces for Fade. And there's the second nuke. Down goes the red mage, and we're still only at about 200 damage for that. And an Inferno, unfortunately, takes out that unfortunate fighter. That is a nasty spell lineup. And unfortunately, the forfeit from Krelen after that, considering the race is over. And yeah, I do not blame that one at all. At all. So that said, now we get to know that you were lucky, Spell. How do you feel?
I mean, I saw both nukes, so I wouldn't necessarily call myself super lucky, but I mean, you get prepared, and then once you're kind of launching, you can kill chaos pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I had that the Vorpal swinging for a lot by the end there.
I was not sure if Krellen picked up the early magic for the fighter either.
Well,
On
we
that.
can ask him now because we are now joined by Krellen. GG's.
Hello, greetings, everyone.
So how toasty are your toes after that last Inferno?
Oh, that hurt a little. I was just gonna give it a good swing. I am absolutely 100% proud that I was within 5 to 6 minutes of Spellzapp. He is a legend. Oh my
Oh yeah.
gosh! I was like, my plan kind of just went out the window. I completely forgot. I saw that he done it. It's like, ah, dang it! I was so close. I was really, really happy with myself. I did great. I'm very, very happy.
I mean, that is a feeling that I have felt many a time in this tournament, just in terms of the qualifiers and, my own progress on this one. So I can definitely empathize on that one. It feels great when you can see a runner that you know is incredible and be just within that, like, if you just made, like, that little bit of extra luck, it would have been in your favor. So
Yeah, at least
definitely.
yeah, within like the 3 or 4 runs that it was Spellzapp before in the prelims, I was probably about 20 minutes out every time, minimum from him. So doing my practices and cutting the time within 6 or 7, oh, that felt great. I learned a lot.
Oh, yeah, you got to be proud on that one. High fives. And I think that means you get sent to loser's bracket. You still have a chance to come
That's
back and
fun.
get that salty run back.
Holy crap! A chance not to have to run against Spellzapp again. Oh no,
I know, right?
too good. Oh, I watched a few of his races and tried to learn a little bit. There's still so much I could do differently, but uh 10 minutes, 10 minutes. I felt so, that was like one of the cleanest runs that I've done. I was like, okay, just keep going, keep going. Okay, I know I need to, no, forget it, just go, keep going, keep going. He's already ahead. Practice as if you keep going as if he's at least 1 to 2 minutes ahead of you at all times. I just tried to keep going, and I did.
Okay.
My only real worry was, first, I didn't have a thief. I just kept running into unrunnables every single time. That was brutal. I know that probably slowed me down a bit. I didn't even see what he took.
Oh, I took a thief, fighter, black belt, red mage.
Yeah, if I had done that, I would have probably been right on your heels, because that thief would have avoided so many ambushes. It was left and right. I couldn't get away from him.
Yeah, I think you really have to take a thief in these flag set because it actually turns off a lot of unrunnables. Enemies with the surprise bonus of like I think it's like 4 or 0 somewhere around like the really low end can just never ambush you in these when you have the thief out front.
Yeah, and then I was just worried about my firepower, and I would have had enough firepower. It would have been fine, because I'd like yeeted the katana into the into the vendor, and I was like, money. It wasn't as much as I was hoping, but I think I'm happy with what I did, and I can definitely go into the losers brackets, uh, uh, kicking and swinging now. That was an absolutely monstrously stressful race. I was so nervous.
I mean, hey, it can only go up from here. You're against Clementitas, it looks like, in terms of the brackets. So, how are you feeling about that potential matchup?
Oh, another extremely powerful runner. Everybody that's made it to these finals, whether in winners brackets or the loser brackets, top or bottom, everybody here is an amazing runner. It is absolutely a phenomenal place to be. Oh man, this is one of my favorite tournaments so far in the 2-3 years that I've been running.
And I just got word from Oslo because the bracket or the brackets haven't been updated yet. But Ravioli won their matchup as well. So that is your matchup, Spellzapp versus Ravioli. How do you feel on that one?
Someone said not young me.
Did I misread that?
I'm in broadcast notes 3, and Oslo just said ravioli. Granted, Oslo is here as our restreamer, so he can definitely correct us if we're wrong on that one.
But yeah, no, I mean ravioli is good, so I got a big match ahead of me then.
Oh, yeah.
Not Young Me, if it's faces him, I mean, I don't know a ton about him, so I'll have to just approach that to the best of my ability, but I know ravioli is really good.
Oh, yeah. Ravioli, give me the formioli. I will make that SpongeBob joke 100 times before we're done
Yeah,
here.
it
as long
is
as ravioli's in
ravioli.
brackets.
I was checking back. I didn't see the actual outcome. I was just checking back and saw that Young Mi's stream was gone, and I thought ravioli had finished, but no, ravioli was finishing, and not Young Mi had not.
Yeah, looks to be a forfeit at 105.10 in that one. So right about the ending on. Oh, God, it's 11, and all of the infectiousness is keeping me awake. I was like, brain, let's go.
Hey, hype for more races, no matter who they're against.
Oh yes, I'm
Absolutely.
looking forward to everything.
Now, as Maddie has mentioned, it is getting late, either West Coast or East Coast. How about we go ahead and jump to final thoughts, starting with our race winner, Spellzapp.
Hey, it was a fun race. Big shout outs to everyone who in the tournament. I mean, this has been a lot of fun. GG's you, Krelen. I'm sure watching that back, you're gonna learn some things and move forward and improve. So, you've got another shot at it. So just take what you learn and take it to the next race.
And Krellen.
Thank you very much, Spellzapp. It was an honor to run against you. I hope I made you sweat a little bit. If I did that even a little, it's an accomplishment, especially to be able to run with somebody that has won so many tournaments, been here for so long, has been in the part of the community far longer than I. An absolutely amazing and racer, a gracious person, and you've been inspirational to a lot of people that have run, not just me, but just about everybody here. It is absolutely my honor to race against you.
Hey, thank you. And how much did you pay the Cerberus? Just wondering.
I charge $19.99 per compliment.
No, the watch it back. It'll be fun.
Oh, no,
There's a
it'll
funny
be
moment in Volcano.
It's a treat.
Paralysis,
just
sleep, nuke.
just make sure you pay them after the stream so that no one knows about the bribery.
I have no clue what you're talking about. That's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it was a treat.
Well,
Anyway,
with that, thank you very much, Maddie, for joining on comms. Thank you again, Ragnarok, for tracking. It's always crazy and chaotic tracking these. Oslato for jumping in on the restream. Maddie, you want to finish us out?
I think I will. So that is yet more of round 2 here in the winter tournament. There are plenty of losers brackets matches going on over the course of the next week. Most of them will not be restreamed because we are not in the late sections of that yet, but look forward to it. Many a powerful runner has already been knocked down, and we will see if they get to fight their way back up from the pits. But until then, look forward to yet more content of this between RPG Limit Break, Final Fantasy Randomizer, and we do have a bit on Speed Gaming Live as well, depending on the ching. Always check out our channels and such for, well, and the server in terms of when our skills are all scheduled and such. This has been Maddie. We would like to also thank our lovely restreamer Oslato and lovely tracker Ragnarok, because without them, we would have been very lost on this, especially with how late it is. But with that particular lateness, I will once more thank our runners, thank Thavian for being here with me and me here with him, and bid you all adieu and a good night.
Thank you, everyone.